welcome to the Unpopular Opinion. I'm Kemi.
Prim.
And we're real.
We are raw.
And we're saying it all. Okay, welcome to another episode, guys. We are glad that you have chosen to come back, or it's your first time. Welcome. We have a special guest with us, Sharifa, who you've maybe seen a couple of times. She has been with us a couple of times. She's a friend of the show. She's a supporter of our things. We like her here. We love her.
And I love it here.
When you say she's a friend to the show, you mean the producers?
No.
Not us,
No.
The team.
the actors and actresses.
The team.
She's a friend to the videographers.
Anyway, welcome back, Sharifa.
I am always happy to be
Always
here.
a pleasure to have you.
Same.
She's also a mental health professional, a sex therapist. She's very many good things. I'll leave the link if you want to just go hang out with her on social media. She creates some really interesting content that will make you introspect, get stressed, look for therapy, and be a serious individual. But today's episode is about something that we actually chatted about this. Like, this was one of those episodes that we didn't plan many weeks in advance. Prim and I were just talking here before we started shooting, and we're like, okay, you know how the content, and you guys have probably noticed it if you're a social media person, that online there's been like a burst, a surge of more content by men talking about how they want, you know, those things of old. They want women who serve them, women who, I don't know, make their meals and give them massages and foot rubs and, you know, alpha male. You know what I mean? And at the same time, there's also been a surge of more women content creators talking about softness, femininity, you know, leaning into like my softer side, my feminine side, and all that good stuff. So we were thinking, okay, that is interesting. We should talk about that. I feel like Prim is looking at me like she already has the thing she wants to share. Say it. Please, say it.
So when we were discussing this like earlier, actually it's a topic we came up like, or not, we like, oh, have you noticed this? And we were like, it's the whole leaning into femininity obviously is somehow tied into that rise of, you know, like the alpha male, and the podcasts are out, and you notice that there's the sound on like feminism is sort of quieter. There's a time we were all, you know, big for, oh, you know, we should all do this, but now it's a bit quieter, right? And men were a bit more quiet then because either they were in introspection of, hey, you mean we've been doing this? You mean we're getting out with all this privilege? Oh, watching from the side of, oh, okay. Or they're more like, women are lying, but you see, this is not the time for us to come out and talk about it.
They were lying in wait.
Yeah, they were lying in wait. And now they are like, oh, this man is bold enough to create this podcast. Let us also, you know, create one and let us talk about it. So, I know that we are talking about like the softer side and femininity and stuff. And I was having that conversation with a friend, I think on the 24th of December, and we talked about privilege, pretty privilege. Ooh, pretty privilege.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we were saying that, though, have you ever looked, you know, like you have a conversation with some ladies and they'll tell you the things that, say, men do for them. How, you know, like, oh, can I do this? Oh, someone is willing to, like, everyone is trying to save you and do things for you, right? And you keep telling women, know your worth.
Yeah.
You know, you can get these men to do this and that. But have you looked at the fact that you could be very beautiful and very pretty, and let us not even quote? Vanity is real. People are vain. The world is vain, right? That's why you're getting away with these things.
Yeah.
And you are telling me, Prim, and I'm saying this as a big girl, these are not things that we easily get as big girls. We don't easily get treated like that because, well, we don't have the, you know, the opportunity.
We're also in the real world.
We're in the real world whereby Munaj, as a big girl, first of all, when it will feel like someone, like, oh, they'll choose everyone else, then you'll be the last. Like, you know, going to a party and, you know, like, say a guy is like, come with your friends. You know that everyone else will have to first be taken before you're taken. I even feel like I don't want to look in the camera as I say this because it's been a sad reality of my life. I know that I look hot and stuff, but yeah. Everyone else will be chosen before you. And so imagine your friend who is probably petite and, you know, like the, say, smaller,
Like
Yeah.
stereotypically beautiful, is telling you, oh, don't pick up his calls, let him call until the, you know, don't let
Ignore
him call the
him.
second time. It's even when we are very quick to shame women into, oh, why are you giving up the cookie so fast? But it's because for them they feel like that's the one thing, that's the one way to keep, you know, to get this person to stay. You know, because, well, what else
Do they have to give?
do you have to
Yeah.
give?
Yeah,
You
so
get?
I think like what I'm hearing you saying is like sometimes the privilege of being softer and more feminine
Comes with,
is limited.
it's
to,
limited
Yeah,
to
it
us.
can be.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
that
much.
when you're beautiful and you've always been
You
beautiful and
can.
people have always been, you know, lining up to
Yeah,
serve
yeah.
you, it's easier for you to relax and just be a
Yeah,
girl.
Yeah, take
to
care of
lean
me.
into your
Yeah.
femininity because they are going to take care of you. Like it's
Yeah.
easy for people to take care of you because you know you look a certain way.
Yeah.
So when we are telling women to be softer, oh, I'm in my soft girl era, I also want us to know that it's not going to apply to
To
everyone.
everybody.
Or
Right.
it applies differently.
It applies differently.
Yeah.
It applies differently for different people.
Mm.
Some of us will have to get that soft girl era for ourselves.
Yes.
Mhm.
You get? We have to, if they are presents, you're going to get them yourself. If they are flowers, you're going to get them yourself. But this whole, oh my God, my partner has to get me flowers. My partner has to take care of me. You know, if I will not change a tire, I will not. Me, I have my basic skills of changing a tire because I knew that I would have slept in Mavira Forest if that day had come to it.
But this is what she actually mentioned earlier, that we can balance the two. You can be in both your masculine and both your feminine.
Mhm.
And sometimes I feel like we misunderstand that femininity,
Yes.
and it's called the wounded feminine, where we are so manipulative, where we are overly dependent on people, where we are so insensitive, where we just want to take and take and take and take and never give. You know, there's so many women who do that.
It's called wounded feminine.
Yeah, it's the wounded feminine. Just like there is the wounded masculine. Yeah, there's also the wounded feminine, where women just want to take, don't give, you're insensitive. You feel like the world owes you.
That's why you meet those men who, when you do regular nice things for them, they are overwhelmed.
It's too much for them.
They've
That's not the wounded.
experienced, like
Exactly.
they've experienced
The
so many
person
women
that
that are
has
doing
been
so much
taking,
to
they are
you.
not
Thank
to
you.
give.
That they
Yeah.
are given, they're like,
What
Suspicious.
do you want?
Yeah.
True. True. So we need to understand, are we really being in the soft girl era, or are we, you know, putting out our wounded femininity out there? So we need to be very, very careful, because the non-toxic way of being in your feminine is, you know, receiving, being loving, giving, you know, just being soft, being kind, nurturing, caring, you know, allowing love, giving some love. You know, that's the
Yeah.
non-toxic way of doing
Yeah.
it. But then you find us who are entitled. No, I'm
Like
a
me.
girl. You must do exactly. You must do this for me, or else.
Yeah.
see, that narrative is heavy on TikTok. Have you
Thank
been
you.
to those TikTok videos?
Thank
Oh,
you.
insane.
It's misleading, wallahi.
As
It's
a paid
misleading.
stay-at-home girlfriend.
As
Exactly.
a paid girlfriend,
Yeah.
I can't.
No, but you see, it's not fair.
No, it's
I would
not.
like to say, in Islam, they teach the men to treat the women like queens, right? And like I mentioned earlier, I'm married to an Arab man who gets that, right?
Yeah.
But I cannot be in my feminine energy 24/7. We're
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
real world here. You get it?
Yes.
My partner sometimes needs support. I have to step up. I'm going to stand up and do something. I'm going to lend a hand. I'm going to chip in here and there. So we need to be very, very mindful. Yeah.
First, tell me about this wounded masculine. How does that look
Now,
like?
you see, the wounded masculine will abuse power. You know how they say men are protectors, you know, men are supposed to take care of us, men are the maintainers, men are supposed to do that. No, that's the healthy masculine. The wounded
Is it
masculine.
the one who tells you to stop working?
That's the oppressor.
Stop working so you can be home.
Exactly, that's the wounded
And need
masculine.
me.
Exactly.
So that I am, like, literally, I own you.
But you can see how that man will attract the wounded feminine.
Yes.
Because I want to
Because she's
take.
like, just take care of
Yes,
me.
I want to
Do
take,
it all.
take. And those men are like, yes, sit home. I got this.
And I give you everything.
And those are the girls you're talking about. Like, Munange, you're supposed to give you, hey, Munange, what? How is that okay? How is that okay? Like, I don't understand that, right? Like, yeah, it's okay to be taken care of. It's okay to be given. But to what end? Are you empowered enough to do things on your own when this man is not around? Because this is real life. This is reality.
Right.
We're not in a
Your
movie or
children
some
will
sort.
be sick and they will need to be taken
Exactly.
to hospital.
And he's not around.
Yeah, and you're like, hey, I told him to send a driver,
You know,
Imagine.
but you were home. You're like, oh, me, I'm not leaving this place. And
I made a video. I'm going to post it, and you're going to hear me ask one question. I was asking the men why they don't empower their women, because I've heard so many men say things like, "You must business." And in my head, I'm thinking, why are you married to a woman who cannot even run a business? You have kids with this person, so she's dumb to run a business.
It means that you're not empowering her to take care of your children in case you're not here one day.
Thank you. That's my point. Now, that's the wounded masculine. He wants you to depend on him. Without him, you're nothing. And then he'll give you this lifestyle that you can't even afford without him. Right? So that is not a healthy masculine. And I would like to say, a wounded masculine, you know those men who go like, you can still be a manly man with emotions. You can still be a manly man when you communicate. You can still be a manly man.
You can still be feminine when you are
working as well.
When you are working
right?
as well.
Yeah. So what's wrong with having your own money?
Yeah, there's nothing, because that brings in also the thing of how we all have masculine and feminine energy.
Thank you.
All of us, whether you're a man or you're a woman, like, man, you might be annoyed to hear it, but it's the truth. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
It's a beautiful thing that we are able to have both of those things in us. And the masculine may be more, I don't know, exaggerated in one person than the other, and it doesn't make them over less a woman.
That's true.
What. I think you find your people who meet you on that car, and also seasons of life.
Right. Yes, that's what I wanted to talk about. Yes,
because there are certain seasons where you need to lean more into your masculine.
Yes, and
then there are seasons where you need to soften.
Yeah,
I know for sure that now this year. Oh yeah, we're still in 2023 as we're recording this, but this year I have found a softer me. And it's because I live with a calm energy, it's easy to think that that's easy for me.
What happened?
It's not.
I am laughing because that was me, but also having been a person who can never be me.
That can never be me. I removed it from my vocabulary.
Yeah.
I used to like just
we are leaving it behind because
can never be me. But you should have mentioned that earlier.
I know.
That it can be you with taxes.
Thank you. Tax. So I think it's this year that I've really that I intentionally decided that I need to allow people to take care of me a little bit more. Like I remember even when my sister was sick the other year, and of course I was one of her primary caregivers and stuff, and then so this year at some point I was talking about it on social media actually, like in Jan or Feb, and I was saying, this year I really want to lean more into allowing people to give me, to care for me, because I don't know, it's firstborn stuff, it's a million things, feeling like I need to be the one to now do the things and do this. Yes, avoidant as well. That I also identified about myself this year. So I remember when I talked about it, my sister sent me a DM. She was like, "Banange, thank God you're even saying these things. I tried to do for you things after the sickness. You are not allowing me to do them for me." She was like, there's a book you talked about. I want to buy it for you. Send me the link. She was like, "Thank God." She's like, "I've been trying to do things for you. You're there. You want to be the master of the giving." I was like, okay.
No, but also our relationships sometimes put us in certain places.
Yeah. I'm good.
That's true.
I'm good.
That's I identified that with myself. Before my current marriage, I met so many men who damaged me. Like they put me in a place where I stopped taking help from men. I would go like,
I'm okay.
I'm okay. I would. I would rather not. So you want to give me that ochinangire, and then no way, you're not going to use that against me. So when I met my husband, I was guarded. My walls were high up, and this guy would tell you things like, "Oh, I'll take care of you. I will do this." When I'm like,
Osaga. What do you want?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because you see, your past relationships have a lot to do with whether you can be in your feminine or your masculine. So it took me a long while, but then I started to resent him, and I'm like, but this guy never does this for me. Exactly. And then they would say things like, but even if I do it, you never take it, you never receive it. You're always coming up with comments, very shady comments but you think I can't work. You think I can't afford this myself.
Trauma.
That whole, let me reject you before you reject me. And then now I start asking myself, why are you rejecting me?
But the other guys are doing it for their babes. You're not doing it for me. But when he tries to do it for you, you're feeling a certain way about it. But the day I changed my mindset on it, I told myself, look, I can still have my own money and let this guy take care of me. You guys.
Things changed.
I am happy.
I didn't even realize myself being that person. I just felt like this is how everyone should go through life. Masculine, like we have to hustle, we have to work, we have to da. Then I remember how obviously my partner met me at that point in my life. That's who I've been. So I remember recently, the first, he's now shocked at who I am. And it's why he kept saying, "Oh, you need day. Oh, we don't need day. Who saw me don't need day?" He thinks that I've become needy, but it's because I've finally. It's like even me. It feels like I rested.
You need
I rested. You get.
Yeah.
I remember when you came to hospital, you made a statement that I'll never forget. You're like, when I told you all the things that I've been going through, and you're like, but Prim, you carried it so well. You carried it so well because we never knew. So until I talk about like my journey, you know, like being obese and stuff, people are like, you carried it so well. We didn't see these things about you, but now. That's the journey that's not out there. That's the things that people don't see. But I also know that it's in a very huge way it affected my relationships. I was telling you guys before we turned on the cameras. And recently, he picked me up at the airport. One thing I know is that for sure, if I was traveling, my car would be parked at the airport because I feel like I don't want to need you. I don't want to call you, will you pick me? I just come and drive myself home. So he recently picked me up. I called him and I was like, oh, will you be at the airport waiting for me there? So he comes and picks me up. And he stayed in the car seated. Then with my suitcases, so he waits for me to put them there. And I'm like, please come out and put my suitcases in the boot. He's like, huh? You can't put them. You can't put them in. And I'm like, I'm tired. Please come and put them in. I see how he's getting so shocked that I keep asking for help. Because that's not
was never like you.
He was accustomed to.
Right.
I think it's why he's just wondering, why are you becoming this person? You get?
Right.
And I think it's going to also take him a very long time to adjust to this person or who he has to actually help or do things for, because it's who I've been. I want you to know that, you guys, it's been so, like, even it's tripped into our like finances. Like, I will rarely tell him, oh, but this is not there. So most times when like Ruth makes the list and says this is what we need, and I find shopping, I'll be like, as I'm like, okay, give these things to the border guy. Ruth is like, no, Uncle Yabi, they say. I'm like, oh, he did shopping. Then I'll feel that relief of,
thank
I don't have to, spend on this. And yet I did ask from way back. We've been together 4-5 years, and I don't ask. In my mind, it's always set to, I need to find money to this. I'll even budget. I know that in this month I have to do this and that. And I think he has looked at me of why, like, so now that we're in that phase where I don't have to like buy anything, I am relieved. I'm relieved that I don't have to buy anything at home. I'm relieved that I don't have to pay bills at home. That the rent will be paid and it doesn't take anything.
It doesn't.
And that's really released because that's more money for me to go and blast. You get? But like, I also see how that thing we talked about, like, in relationships, people change, people keep changing.
That's true.
And you keep
changing boundaries.
You
Your
keep having
boundaries
to
change.
learn the
Okay.
person.
Right.
The person. And I know that that's one of the changes that are happening in our home. The fact that I am now very softer, very, you never used to be like this. Like, when I tell him, come and carry this, please come and lay the bed with me, because I can't carry the mattress. You guys, I look back and I'm like, where did I get that energy from? Guy was always as if,
but there is also that thing of, you don't want to bother people. You know that they go,
so recognize that.
Right?
Yes.
So
and then after you resent them for
not coming through.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh no, I can do it myself.
Me, I bother them these days.
Yes. Now even me, I bother. Now I will ask you, and then you keep asking me, why aren't you doing it yourself? And I'm like, I need help. And I'm like, I don't want to do this alone. I want you to do this with me.
That's healthy.
I'm not keeping quiet anymore, because I know keeping quiet builds resentment.
It breaks you.
It builds anger. And you know who is living their best life?
The other person.
The other person.
Exactly. He has no problem.
They don't
blasting for them.
Exactly.
They're like, oh no, she likes to do stuff herself.
Yeah.
I think we just need to find a balance and also communicate these things when we get into relationships. The expectations when you get into a relationship.
Also, I feel like communication still brings us, anyway, there's also a point of that whole pretty privilege. There are people who communicate and they'll get these things. And there are those who communicate and you'll still not.
Exactly my point.
Communication and comprehension are different things.
But you see, Prim, if I'm communicating these things and you don't want to give me these things, then I know I don't want to be with you.
You're not the right person.
Yeah, like I keep telling people, if you want a working woman, get a working woman. Do not get a slave queen and then marry her and then start telling her, you're so lazy, you're always in bed. You married her knowing she was a slave queen. You get? If you want a laid-back person who doesn't want to work, who wants to do not marry me, a working woman.
And try to turn me into
right? Exactly. So
while I turn into that person, give me the grace to
do it at my own time, slowly. Exactly.
Support me into like you phone me living my best life. I'm unencumbered, I'm not working, I don't like to hustle.
Right.
You now want to turn me into a hustler. You want to teach me business, for example, so I can run your businesses.
Thank you.
Do it with grace.
I know.
Do not say, oh, she's so dense, she cannot even run this business.
And it goes both ways, because even the women, we like to marry potential. You know how it is. I can see that the guy, I married potential, and I keep telling people, don't ever do it. do not ever do it. It takes a certain level of patience for that person to become what you saw in them. And if you do not have that, patience. I heard you saying that for you, as long as a man is kind, you're done. That is what I went for in my second marriage. I kept saying, as long as he's kind, honey. So it goes both ways. For even men, like if you want a financially stable man, do not marry potential of he's hardworking. I'm not saying they might not, but the time it might take might frustrate you.
Might frustrate you. So train your mind to be ready for that turbulence.
Right. Yes. So you want a financially stable man, find a financially stable man on the go. Yeah. You want a man who is smanyambu, he's staying home all the time, then find a man gagwam singer center. But the women who have that wounded femininity that they like men who are lower than them, so that they can manipulate them, they can control them. That is all the wounded
You're
feminine.
sure he won't cheat on you because you're giving him your car, he's using your money. That's why most times such women get so broken when the man cheats. Like, what? You even go to this woman and attack her until even the money you're eating is my money.
Mine. You've
had
of
it's not saying but guess what? The fact that this man also is being feeling emasculated by you. He has to look for a person that he thinks is lower. Like True. That's why you're here with your ego. You're here with your ego. How can you cheat on me with such a person who you think is beneath you because you're probably measuring him against your job, against the products you have, against that, and you're like, how can you cheat on me with someone like that? But you don't realize that it's not even about your titles, it's not about your skill.
He wants to be desired.
It's just that this is the one person who shows him that you're
wanted. King. I see you.
I cannot live with a woman. I can't live without the money you bring from that woman.
Actually, that was such a twist. You know, those kinds of women, there are so many. You've heard of those people who will tell you, this guy, anyway, the stories I usually post. This guy used to give me money, he used to take care of me, but when the wife found out, I realized the money was for the woman. So sometimes the women are the star, in the relationship.
Yeah. That's sometimes it's like, but man, if you're a side chick, you have to respect the main chick. It's the money you're getting. You find that either at least she bought sugar so that the 5K that was supposed to buy sugar came to you. So give her her respect, give her her boundaries. Oh my goodness. She's the reason
Prim, I can't.
You are thriving. Truthfully.
That's something to think about, I guess. So anyway, the conversation on masculinity and femininity, of course, is a forever thing. And I think it would be cool to have some guys over and talk about that.
Totally.
Let us know if you guys want us to do something like that, and then we can follow up with a conversation around these similar things, but also just hear how men feel about these different things. So we can just have that.
That we already focused. DK is always saying, "Sis, can you or who you have some command?" So. For that's the truth,
so we'd love to do that. So let us know if you'd like us to do that, and we'll plan something in the next couple of episodes. But for now, that's it for this week's episode. Thank you so much, Sharifa, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We are very grateful.
And we'll definitely leave her links as well, so that you can engage with her content. It really is good content. Shout out, as always, to Woka Studios for this beautiful space. She's here behind the camera. We're here on DIY. Hello, creativity. So thank you, and we'll see you guys next time. Subscribe. Bye.